Grenada, Carrico, PD Monic, and the world. I'd like to welcome you to another Mikey Life program, people. This is where it all happens. We are talking about the good, we are talking about the bad, and we are talking about the Mikey. Now, it's been a while. We've been off for a few days, and that's all right, you know. That's okay. That's okay. And of course, it feels good to be back with you after being off for a couple of days. I hope that you enjoyed your weekend, and we are here. Now, folks, we have a lot of things to tell you about. Of course, I want to, first of all, thank you guys for all the concern, all the people who posting their comments and, you know, get well wishes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Bad man don't really sick and thing now. You know what I mean? Bad man just need like a rest sometimes. You know what I mean? Yeah, boy. So that the body parts could function properly. If you know what I mean. You know, one thing, you know, when you're reaching a certain age, everything's that, you know, play old mass with you, you know, people. You know, some of your body parts decide to forget what its functions are. You know, so from time to time, yeah, the body parts go say to you, hey, you know, a day. You know what I mean? But anyway, we're good to go. All right, now, folks, let's talk about what's making the headlines. Hey, Shireen, I hear Shireen is deputy and you gotta big up Shireen. Spice Boys on a roll when it comes to the Nation League. We're going to tell you about that. Belmont Estate is on a cleanup drive. All right, we're going to talk about that. Man charged with the death of a former police officer may not be fit for trial. Market Square murderer sentenced to life in prison. We're going to talk about that. Of course, we had some stuff to tell you about on Friday. We didn't have any program on Friday, so we're going to update you on that, all right, as well. Search for survivors of Hurricane Dorian continues in the Bahamas. Now, remember when we all started talking about Dorian, we all regarded Dorian as a man. Somewhere along the line, I hear people referring to Dorian as a woman. I don't know. Even Dorian is in the holocaust business, in the alphabet business. Anyway, as well. British Airways ground nearly all flights as pilots strike. That was a very interesting one today we're going to tell you about, boy. All right? And man dies after forcing his wife and child to ingest poison. We have raw footage of an incident that happened in St. Lucia. That we will share with you. And of course, once time permits, we'll give you a bit of entertainment. Folks, we want to again officially welcome you to Mikey Live. We see that we have our folks joining us on WPG10. We're talking about channels 10 and 11 cable TV. Thank you very much, guys, at WPG10, folks. So we take a short break. And when we return, it will be real news in all your Lily Lolo.
They're coming from near and far to blaze the gospel in song. Saturday, October 26th, Grenada National Stadium. Get ready to break every chain. Featuring for the first time in Grenada, Grammy Award-winning gospel artist, Tasha Cobbs. Live from Jamaica, the sensational Jermaine Edwards. And many more. Tickets on sale now at gotofet.com. Stay tuned to this station for more info.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
for me and you.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. What a wonderful world.
Give your kids a new start this term with back-to-school deals from Quartz. Save big with great deals store-wide. Get desktop, laptops, tablets, backpacks, and so much more. Get it all now with Quartz Ready Finance with nothing down and nothing to pay for 30 days. Get a new start back to school with great deals from Quartz, bringing value home.
From the restaurant to your stomach fast.
Alrighty, people. So yes, we want to welcome. We have seen that some people have not shared the program yet, boys. So I want to encourage you all to share the business. All right. Now we have just a few things to tell you about before we get into the hardcore news. Okay. Now the Ministry of Education, Human Resource Development, and Religious Affairs hereby informs the public that the British High Commission, through the UK Chevening Scholarship Scheme, is collaborating with the government of Grenada in offering 1-year master's scholarship for the academic year 2019 to 2020. Now, if interested, applicants are encouraged to visit the website chevening.com to register interest or to apply online. Applicants, you are required to complete the online application by Tuesday, November 5th, 2019, after which no further applications will be accepted. All right, they say that you should kindly submit a copy of all submitted documents to the Human Resource Development Division or Scholarship Desk, Botanical Gardens, Stantine, St. George. And for additional information, you can contact the Scholarship Desk. All right, our telephone number 440-3767, or you can also email scholarshipdesk@gmail.com. Good. We have a bit of good news to tell you about. All right, so get ready for some good news. Now, learning to swim, interesting, right? For the young ones, right? So there's a learning to swim program that the ministry is undertaking, and that resumed today, September 9th, for the new school year. Now, interestingly, over 300 students from 31 primary schools across Grenada learned the basics of swimming. Now, sessions are held Mondays to Fridays. Annually, they converge in June for the CIBC FCIB Primary School Swimming Championships, held in collaboration with the Grenada Amateur Swimming Association, GASA. Now, we have a little thing to show you, boy, and them youngsters and them, they are very enthusiastic about the whole business, you know. Look at them, yes, man, we get a little thing to show you. You understand? Now, in this video, the junior coach, Mr. Chris Regis, he was teaching the beginners how to float. Right, so I think that was a good one there, right? So they say that they have this thing going on, all right? And if you are interested in enrolling your child, you can call 440-6917. Now the Spice Boys has been on a roll, boy. Nations League. Now we played the first match in Grenada here. We played the other day. I think it was on Friday, Thursday or Friday. You understand? The opening game, 2-1. We played against St. Kitts and Nevis, the CONCACAF Nation League at the Kiani James Athletic Stadium. You understand? The Spice Boys, they have been playing, and we played Belize, all right? And we won that too. And here's what, we are looking good in terms of the point standing. That's why we have to share all of that, because all of us want to run all them out, you know, and then get a business. You understand? So currently, look at us. We pretty. In our group, we are on top with 6 points, people. The Spice Boys, give them a clap. Now the next game is going to be happening on October 13th at the stadium again. Okay? As we are on our journey to the Gold Cup qualifiers. Alright, so all your we just have to say congratulations to the Spice Boys and things so far, and I know all are going to do better. And well, not even better, but more, because y'all are doing really good. Now, Nolan Cox, after the first game, Senator was congratulating the members in the locker room, right?
Surprised to see that cricket getting bigger crowds than soccer. So we have some work to do, because I know Grenadians love soccer. And you guys did us proud this evening, and we wish you all the best going forward. So thank you. I'll convey regards to the cabinet on Monday and let them know that we can invest some more in your guys. All right? Surprised to see.
All right, and folks, we have Jamal Ray Charles. They say that man, watch now, the man bad like Bobo, you know. You understand? So he doing thing. Folks, we are moving on. Belmont Estate is on a cleanup drive, people. And you must know about that too. Good news I'm telling all you, you know, yeah, something. Only here you always get them kind of news, you know. So on Sunday, Belmont Estate led the first of 3 beaches cleanup in St. Patrick. The environmental coastal cleanup campaign, they call it Green Up Grenada. They say that it was an initiative by the True Blue Bay Resort in commemoration of World Coastal Cleanup Day. Now the first beach was River Antoine Beach, or Long Wall as it is well known. You understand? They said that they had some amazing volunteers who come and help them out from Specto. It was wonderful to see, they say, so many young children doing their part in getting rid of plastic and other wasters, or waste if you want to say it so, waste from the beaches. They said they wanted to say thanks to the group Spector, Miss Shania Bihari, and the staff of the Belmont Estate. You understand? People, little children, man, woman, and child. You understand? Cleaning up. All you almost join them kind of thing when all you see it happening. You know? I want all you to kind of like give Belmont Estate a little clap on the program, because one of the staff might come on the program and they will see something like that and they say, yes, they go feel good. You know what I mean? So that they could continue, you know, a little encouragement now. Because they're cleaning up with rubbish and thing now. Alright. All you, so, I mean, and if you have a little community group people, that's just me saying no. You know, don't wait for nobody to call you. Y'all could just go, put all yourself in a little thing, and then all you could go and clean a beach or clean an area and thing like that. You see, it's more than just cleaning, you know. You know, when you converge and you have like a discussion and doing things as a community, that helps strengthen the community. So people, do like a thing. You know what I mean? The other day we go and clean up the beach. We born Jay, we go and clean up a certain beach by the course. Who said all you? Yeah, people are a little offended that people come and clean the beach, but that's small thing. You know what I mean? Go, don't make nobody discourage you. Go and clean up somewhere and do things. You know what I mean? Good. We are moving on. Oh yeah. Now the next thing that we have to tell you about traffic offenses for so. You understand? Just for a few days between the 2nd and the 6th of September, people, all kind of traffic offenses in just some small areas. So some areas, let me tell you some areas. Scott Street, Lucas Street, Church Street, St. John Street, Melville Street, Grenville Street, Belmont, the Hospital Road. We go talk about the Hospital Road just now. Market Hill, Carnage, Gambie Street. Just this small area there. Listen up, people. If you hear offenses, seatbelt offenses 22, defective tires 8, taking on, you know, like when you like buses and things 12, speeding 8, setting down weight, dropping people where they're supposed to 1, obstruction 1, relevant class 2, you know, like when it depends on what driver's license you have and driving, all them things on them. Driving without license, all kind of thing, you know, people. I'm telling you, I ain't making it up. 2 men were arrested, namely Alex Campbell of Mongay and Shaquem Fletcher of Westerhall for driving without license. 33 clamps were placed on vehicles. Each one was $125. A total of $4,125. You understand? They say they issue speeding ticket that of persons who went over the speed limit by at least 10 miles per hour. So it's not because you No, not because you go over the speed limit. They say, 10 miles above. You understand? You're telling me? Yeah, boy, you see that they're having a challenge with people obeying the traffic laws and things. As well, we had the police last week, boy. The police was talking about, I find my computer lagging and my computer sick too. You want that day off too, or dog? What it is? No, the police was on the radio last week, boy. They are saying that they are having a concern with the amount of vehicles, boy. They are saying that now in the city, boy, it has been so congested. So congested, you're leaving home early and still reaching to work late. What used to take you 20 minutes and thing, taking you all 40, double the time, based on the time of the day. So they are talking about ways of remedying that. It ain't gonna be easy. It ain't gonna be easy, but no. Yeah, folks, we are moving on. Are we looking for time? When the rainy season, we don't get any rain. Today, my thermometer said 39 degrees Celsius. Never see that yet. Never. I remember when I was in school, I think the temperatures were like 28 degrees consistently. I see 39 on my thermometer and making it up. It's hot. Oh, damn. We want to go into in the papers story, because we did not have a program on Friday, so we want to get into an in the papers segment. You understand? So a St. Patrick resident, according to the informer, who was slapped with a charge of non-capital murder connecting him to the death of a retired police officer in the village of Mount Rose in St. Patrick in January of 2018 may not be fit to stand trial. Now, according to information coming out from the informer and from the number 1 Supreme Court, where murder accused Glenn Andrew was due to be sentenced for the death of former police officer Curtis Callis of Mount Rose, St. Patrick, the accused has been diagnosed with chronic schizophrenia and therefore may not be in a position to properly understand the judicial process which he was about to undertake. Now, early this year, Andrew pleaded guilty, accepting full responsibility for Callis' death. Now, both men at the time of the incident lived in the same neighborhood. However, on January 15th last year, Callis' lifeless body was inside his house in a pool of blood, resulting from several stab wounds. Now, during a sitting of the Supreme Court early this year, defense lawyer Jerry Edwin raised concerns about Andrew's mental state and whether he was in a position to stand trial or truly understand the gravity of his actions. Now, in light of this, a full mental assessment was ordered, and according to a mental health expert who was present in court on Tuesday, Andrew is clearly not in a position to stand trial. Now, according to the expert, Andrew has 19 years of serious chronic schizophrenia problems, which makes it impossible for him to fully understand court procedure. Additionally, it was said if treatment were administered, he would never be in a position to stand trial for his action. Meanwhile, as it relates to other actions available to the court, Judge Guilford said the law mandates that before any action is taken, a second opinion is required by another medical expert. Andrew's matter was therefore adjourned to the 23rd, during which time a second assessment is expected to be done so that the court can be guided accordingly. Meanwhile, speaking to members of the media in the vicinity of the court on Tuesday, defense lawyer Edwin said while he understands the working of the court, he is concerned that in the event that a second assessment confirms Andrew's mental condition, Grenada has no place to house such individuals. Edwin noted that for years, Richmond Hill Prison have been performing the role of a mental institution since the Mount Gay facility is not equipped to deal with criminals who have mental problems. He therefore calls on the powers that be to take urgent action to remedy this situation. All right, folks. Yeah, boy. So that's one of the articles that we had for you for the in the papers segment from last week, and we had another for you. This is a final one, all right? Because we want to move on from that a bit. Now, 2 years after he pleaded guilty to a lesser count of manslaughter, accepting full responsibility for the 2015 killing of St. George's businessman Elias Dotty Cup, a 35-year-old Bolio resident was handed the maximum life in prison sentence. Senior High Court Judge Paula Guilford handed down her sentence on the accused Darren Maitland at the No. 1 Supreme Court on Tuesday after entertaining a lengthy plea of mitigation from defense lawyer Ruggers Ferguson, wherein he described his client's action on the fateful day as pure self-defense and retaliating to a high level of provocation meted out to him by the now deceased man Leslie Isaacs, alias Dotty Cup. Now, Dotty Cup was stabbed during an altercation with Maitland on the streets of St. George's in January of 2015. He was pronounced dead by medical experts on arrival to the General Hospital. The cause of death, according to the autopsy, was due to hypovolemic shock. Now, according to information circulating at the time, the incident arose out of a gambling session in an area referred to as Jamrock in the St. George's Market. Sources said that while the initial phase of the conflict was between Maitland and another young man who was also involved in the gambling, Dotty Cup, the owner of the bar, took charge of the situation, armed himself with a cutlass, and pursued Maitland, who then decided to leave the scene to avoid the confrontation. According to the evidence emanating from the court, Dotty Cup attacked Maitland with the cutlass, striking him in the head and neck before the two ended up in a scuffle, with the result being what it is: Dotty Cup stabbed to death. During the sentencing hearing on Tuesday, defense lawyer Ferguson told the court that while Dotty Cup's death was unfortunate, the evidence clearly showed that he was the aggressor in the entire ordeal that led to his death. Ferguson said Dotty Cup was the one who was armed with the dangerous weapon. He was the one who attacked Maitland, and it was his weapon used to inflict his death. After listening to the defense lawyer, Judge Guilford, in handing down her judgment, said the court must take a serious stand against the use of dangerous weapon on the streets of Grenada. She further noted that while she acknowledges Maitland's guilty plea, he stood before the court with 12 previous convictions, including one for manslaughter that also involved the use of dangerous weapon. Additionally, it was noted that at the time of the incident, Maitland was on a bond to keep the peace. After she assessed all the variables, Maitland was sentenced to life in prison. He was advised to use his time in prison to seek counseling in the area of conflict resolution. Meanwhile, speaking to members of the media, moments after the life sentence was handed down, Ferguson expressed shock that the judge chose to hand down the maximum sentence when, according to him, all the evidence pointed to the fact that the client was provoked and was never the aggressor. Ferguson said that despite Maitland's response in dealing with the situation or his past record, he was entitled to certain privileges that were not extended to him by the sentencing judge. Among those, he said, his client pleaded guilty and had been in prison on remand for close to 6 prison years, which he said was not taken into consideration. Ferguson made it clear that the defense team would be appealing that sentence and thinks he has a strong case. All right. So that's a very, very interesting story to tell you there. All right, now, folks, we have to tell you about, boy, this thing is getting so emotional when dealing with the situation out there in the Bahamas. Now we are seeing videos, circulating pictures are now beginning to surface so that people can have a better idea as to what is really happening in the Bahamas. Here in Grenada, we have various organizations and individuals who are trying to raise funds and gather resources and so on to assist those people who are affected out there in the Bahamas. Now, rescue workers wearing white hazard suits continued their grim search for bodies and survivors in the hurricane-ravaged Bahamas today, as relief agencies work to deliver food and supplies over flooded roads and piles of debris. Now, today we understood that at least 44 people died when Hurricane Dorian hit the Bahamas on September 1st. Now, we understand too that this number is likely to climb significantly. Now, Dorian was one of the most powerful Caribbean storms on record, a Category 5 hurricane with winds of 200 miles per hour. It stalled over the Bahamas for nearly 2 days, becoming the worst disaster in the nation's history. Now they are trying to evacuate. Some persons are trying to get out of the Abaco, and this is also proving to be a challenge.
The resources arriving are completely insufficient, and it's leading to mounting frustration. We met an utterly exhausted Javed Evans, who was begging to be airlifted out. Having narrowly survived the storm, she says she can't take any more.
I have no idea where I could take my 2 kids. There's nowhere to go. We lost everything. We lost everything. We gave up every food we had because they told us we was going to get on this flight. I'm supposed to feed them. What am I to give them? Where's the humanity in that? Where's the care in that? I'm a Bahamian citizen, my children are Bahamian citizens. No guidance. What are we supposed to do? Sit here and die?
Let's deal with those persons who are on the fringe of death.
Many here feel abandoned by their own government.
We are being treated wrong in our country.
Exhaustion is now setting in. These are survivors of a storm that arrived nearly a full week ago, and if anything, conditions are deteriorating. The patience of the poorest and most vulnerable people here on this island is being tested to breaking point.
I want to secure the women and children first.
Overnight, the airport was finally being used as a shelter. Those seeking evacuation to other islands being allowed inside.
Yo, at least, you know, when you see those kind of things, you at least have a better appreciation for what's happening there. We have more things to tell you about, you know, people. Now let's go over to sports. You know, we've been talking about the CPL, but I want to deviate just a bit from the CPL a bit to tell you this. Kieran Pollard, anyhow I want to call him, win this batsman. He's poised to become the new captain of the regional team in both the T20 and ODI formats. Numerous reports are claiming this. 32 years old. You understand? He's set to replace Jason Holder as head of the ODI team and Carlos Brathwaite as the skipper of the T20 squad. Now, Holder, he was appointed the head of the regional team in 2014, with Brathwaite appointed as leader in the shorter format of the game in 2016 after an outstanding performance at the World Cup. Now, according to reports, neither captains has performed favorably. However, with Holder losing 24 of 54 matches played and Brathwaite managing just a 33% win ratio, it ain't looking too pretty for any of the two. You know what I mean? So, let's see how that's going. In the cricket arena, that's what everyone is talking about, all right, people? Everybody. Now, we're moving on. The next thing that we have to tell all about, people, a man has died after forcing his wife and child to ingest poison. I'm making it up. This is one of the big stories now in Guyana. Like, how bad would it get? You know what I mean? Crazy, crazy stuff. And folks, we want to join the newsroom there for a special report on this. Crazy stuff, people. Never hear that yet.
Has been identified as 57-year-old taxi driver Balkaran Prasad. The incident occurred about 10 a.m. Monday morning at Martysville, Monrepo on the east coast of Demerara. Neighbors were alerted to the bizarre tragedy after hearing the woman, 35-year-old Kavita Prasad, screaming. When a neighbor rushed over, the man, woman, and their child showed signs of suspected poisoning. The woman was in the yard while 3-year-old daughter, Saraswati Prasad, was laying in the bed. Balkaran Prasad was in the house. Samdia and Ramnarish Prasad, the sister and brother of the dead man, spoke with the newsroom about the recent nature of the relationship between Balkaran and Kavita Prasad.
I got 6 brothers and we have 4 sisters. And this is the 4th one that gone. I have a lot of problems. This is the only one that faces problem. My brother just tell me that take me to steal him in the salon. They fall in the wrong trap. He just complain me. His girl just even for food line up. She not cook. You gotta cook for any 2 children them. I get for the first wife. She don't cook or nothing to them. They just gotta do everything for themselves. Buy their own thing and cook and
so you don't know what it costs?
No, I don't really. I don't eat it. He fed up because she torment him every day and she go out, she sleep out and all them things. She got friends to drink and he not drink. He used to and he cut it off because he apparently he cool off with it because he don't know he just get like stomach problem and anything. And apparently she say how he too old now. So I don't know, she never know that well he too old. And she go out, just stay out, sleep out, and all them things. They're all about to drink.
The man walking like he walking the taxi and all them things. Now get time for itself for me, see. But also don't talk to you. Now, I get a call it man and we hear that he drink poison. I tell him, that's why we come over here and can't carry problem. That is it. The wife just come out bluesy all about anyway. That's why you go. It's nothing. Really, I gone home. Life on.
Prasad was pronounced dead while mother and baby are receiving treatment. Neighbors said the woman had separated from Prasad and lived a short distance away. However, she would show up at the house in the morning to get the child ready for school and would leave the child at the neighbor's house. Prasad would then take the child to school. It is unclear at this time what triggered the early morning tragedy. Nigel Collymore, Newsroom.
Thank you. Yeah, I see somebody say, yes, story. Yeah, she said about the man wasn't appreciative of how he was being treated by this female companion. But that doesn't excuse. What's that, an excuse? What is it? A justification? How is the child involved in this? Because according to the report, the child was forced. The wife, the woman, and the child were both forced to drink poison by him. So how did the child reach in all of that? You know what I mean? It's such, excuse. I mean, there's no amount of, anyway, lady that talk there. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. Hear this one, boy. I don't know if any of you or you know anyone who were affected by this, but this is one of the big stories. British Airways, said today it has cancelled almost all its flights for 48 hours, affecting as many as 195,000 travelers due to a strike by pilots concerning their pay. The UK's flagship carrier said in a statement that it had no way of predicting how many pilots would come to work or which aircraft they are qualified to fly. Now, as a result, it has said no option but to cancel nearly 100% of the flights for the duration of the strike. Now, they say that they are ready to resume talks with the bargaining agency for the pilots. They say that they understand the frustration and everything like that, and they're willing to see what they could do about it. Now, British Airways says it has offered the pilots a pay raise of 11.5% over 3 years, but the union says its members wants a bigger share of the company's profit. Now, the union is accusing British Airways in making big profits at the expense of the workers who made sacrifices during hard times. Now, they're saying that there could be another strike happening on September 27th. Why? Anyway, we are moving on. What we have next to tell all about, boy? Bizarre. Fight captured on tape in St. Lucia. Man fighting with cutlass, all kind of thing. The video has gone viral and has grabbed the attention of a news agency there, or colleagues, or companions at the HTS News Force, who tells us the story.
This has become all too common, disputes being settled in the most barbaric of ways. Often the weapon of choice is the cutlass, known in other parts of the world as the machete. The clash in this community makes very difficult viewing. Each man, armed with a cutlass and a rudimentary shield, goes after the other in this narrow lane. The women on the sidelines are heard pleading with anyone to intervene to stop this insanity. But no one could sum up the courage to seek to part the warriors. Initially, the makeshift shields saved both men. But the man on the right of the screen soon loses his cutlass as it bounces off his attacker's shield, and he's in mortal danger. He launches onto his fellow attacker in a desperate bid to save his life. Each man loses his footing. At this point, whoever makes it first to his feet has the advantage. It's literally a matter of life and death. The man to the left of the screen makes it onto his feet and, with cutlass in hand, has a double advantage. He lashes out. Fortunately for the man on the receiving end, he partially blocks the blow. The other men of the community, now with no apparent haste, move in to stop the dispute. The video comes to an abrupt end. The intervening men may have saved a life in the process. Stanley Lucian for the HTS News Force.
Big man so. What it is really all about, huh? Never hear that yet. Folks, I forgot the man named Creative, but I had to big up our youth, for the guy named Creative, but he is. I had to big up yourself, a brethren. Yeah, boy. Forget your name, but get your name tomorrow and I'll big up, you know what I mean? A small thing. So, folks, we have our entertainment piece tonight. We have the NR, we have the weather. But here's what, some of our little shady program yet. I know what all you're waiting for. Share the business, man. You know what I mean? Share the business. It's important that you do. You know what I mean? And remember that most of the stories that you hear on the program, after the program, you could go on our website, it could be there. Some of them we could put it up and things like that. That's how we like to, make sure all you get it different ways. If all you want some more details about something, you could get it on the program. So here what I'm doing, I'm taking a quick break. And when I come back, there's more news in all the find out what we have for you in the entertainment piece. Find out what else we have for you, all right? Stay right there.
They're coming from near and far to blaze the gospel in song. Saturday, October 26th, Grenada National Stadium. Get ready to break every chain. Featuring for the first time in Grenada, Grammy award-winning gospel artist Tasha Cobbs. Live from Jamaica, the sensational Jermaine Edwards. and many more. Tickets on sale now at gotofet.com. Stay tuned to this station for more info.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
for me and you.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. What a wonderful world.
Give your kids a new start this term with back-to-school deals from Quartz. Save big with great deals store-wide. Get desktop, laptops, tablets, backpacks, and so much more. Get it all now with Quartz Ready Finance with nothing down and nothing to pay for 30 days. Get a new start back to school with great deals from Quartz, bringing value home.
From the restaurant to your stomach fast.
And we are ready, folks, to introduce to you your entertainment piece for tonight.
If it's one thing I'm most grateful for, it's life. Knowing where I came from and knowing where I'm at today, the simple things in life that matters. Most time people take life for granted, but gratitude is a must.
This is Terra the Governor in the Palm Tree Corner production, folks. This is his song Gratitude in the acoustic version.
Yes. Protect I and I from the trap set for me. Into your hands I submit my spirit. Almighty deliver me. Yes, deliver me. Despite the struggles and fight, I smile, everything is alright. I say, thanks for life, Almighty God. Thanks for life. May piece of shoes that fitting me tight, but I go mash up a party tonight. I say, thanks for life, Almighty God. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. To make it, I must make it. Yes, I said, oh yes, too blessed to be stressed. Once my circle positive, then I man could care less. I said, oh yes, most I get the praise for guiding me through the darkest night and my shiny days. So when I rise up and start yawning, yes, I have to praise thee. I man have to praise thee for my friends and my family and my loved one who never left by my side. Yes, I have to praise thee. Cause despite the struggles and fight, I smile, everything is alright. I say, thanks for life, Almighty God. Thanks for life. May piece of shoes that fitting me tight, but I go mash up a party tonight. I say, thanks for life, Almighty God. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Yes, I said, oh yes, I'm so grateful. Cause even though it's a travel walk, the kids have to go to school. I said, oh yes, happy and content. Don't matter how small it is, I still have to pay the rent. So when I rise up and start yawning, yes, I have to praise thee. I man have to praise thee for my friends and my family and my loved one who never left by my side. Yes, I have to praise thee. Cause despite the struggles and fight, I smile. born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Cause despite the struggles and fight, I smile, everything is alright. I say
Thanks for life,
Almighty God,
thanks for life.
may piece of shoes that fitting me tight, but I go mash up a party tonight. I say
Thanks for life,
Almighty God,
thanks for
tell
life.
them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it.
Terror, the governor, he calls this one Thanks for Life, and that was his presentation for Spice Mass 2019. But of course, on the Pantry Corner is the acoustic version of that particular song. You can join us tomorrow, God's willing, for another in our entertainment segment. You never know what you're going to get there, folks. All right. Now, the next thing that we have for you on the program for tonight is the National Report. Let's take a look at that. And when we return from the National Report, we'll take a look at the weather.
ECCB official says contribution of CBI to construction cannot be left out from GDP data. Details to this story and more in the National Report. Welcome back. With the details to the news on Monday, September 9th, I am Sherian Noel. Economist at the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Ms. Zana Barnard, says we cannot discount the contribution of the Citizen by Investment program to Grenada's construction sector when looking at data related to this country's gross domestic product. Ms. Barnard, who was speaking during the launch of the Fiscal Responsibility Oversight Committee report on Friday, was responding to suggestions by some that the contribution from the construction sector should not be included in GDP data because much of it is related to the CBI. She says if there is activity in construction, it has to be measured.
There are projects on stream, there are new ones that are going to be launched. People are being employed, people are earning incomes from the construction sector. So, you know, definitely that amount of activity has to be included. The question is whether it is sustainable. So the question is what happens after these projects have been constructed? What will happen to the employment of persons employed? Is Grenada as well at a level where it can provide the supply of labor needed for those construction projects? So there are various issues surrounding the activity in the construction sector, but definitely it cannot be discounted just because it's linked to the CBI.
Chairperson for FROC, Mr. Richard Duncan, says with CBI being an emerging economic sector, emphasis must be placed on how sustainable it can become in the future.
We as a country have to see the CBI for what it is. There's a new phenomenon, in my opinion, in the human civilization. From the time human beings could have walked, they traveled, they migrated. We are just in an era now where there is something that we are calling investment migration, where people want to move, want to have the freedom and so on and so forth. And this is therefore an emerging economic sector that some countries have been ahead of the curve for a long while, that others are catching up with. So the question for economists, policymakers, and all the players is how sustainable do we want our program to be, and what should we do about it to make it as sustainable, as robust as it can be for the future growth and development of Grenada.
Grenada's ambassador to the United States says diaspora engagement is critical for development in all areas. Ms. Yolande Smith, who is also the permanent representative to the Organization of American States, OAS, says it is important to have a marriage of the two if we are to truly measure our successes as a people. The comment was made during the recent Grenada Day event in New York.
It is very important, and I think the government is taking that seriously because we have a wealth of information and resources here in the diaspora. But if it's not linked to the communities back home, then it's a wasted opportunity. So in September, both in New York and Washington, D.C., we're trying to see how best we can formalize that process so there is a diaspora engagement that is more meaningful and more structured. Because there are a lot of talent home. We see the Kiranis coming out. We see the Mr. Killers. So in culture, sports, in Miami recently, there was the culinary arts and Grenadans did well. So we have to make sure that there is that bond and that cementing of a relationship that both sides could benefit.
Honorable Peter David, Grenada's Foreign Affairs Minister, is scheduled to attend and address the Diaspora for Development engagement in Washington, D.C. on September 29th. This is the National Report. More news after the break.
Prepare for hurricane. Prepare for hurricane. Make sure you have your radio and your batteries too. Waterproof flashlight candles will do. Tin stuff, garbage bag, first aid kit. Come on people, make sure you have it. Clean water in a container and a hurricane plan. Hear me no man.
Hurricane damage is beyond your control. Surviving the aftermath is up to you. Have a hurricane plan. It can save your life and your family too.
Prepare for hurricane. You hear? Prepare for hurricane.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Social Development, Housing and Community Empowerment hosted a consultation on Monday to present and discuss the findings of a situational analysis of the elderly in Grenada. It was conducted by the ministry partnering with the Pan American Health Organization. It is born out of the ministry's desire to place greater emphasis on human and community development and social inclusion. More details from Delroy Louisa.
The situational analysis is intended to examine existing programs and policies that address the needs of the aging population in Grenada. At the stakeholder consultation held at the Grenada National Stadium on Monday, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Social Development, Housing and Community Empowerment, Mrs. Veronica Charles, while delivering remarks on behalf of Minister Delma Thomas, noted that the value of any nation will be judged based on the treatment given to its senior citizens. She says these individuals have laid the foundation of our nation and as such need to be recognized for their significant contributions.
Today's activity represents an important aspect of a process that will aid with the creation of an enabling environment to better serve our elderly citizens. Our elderly persons in their youthful years created the foundation for the development of our nation. Therefore, we owe it to them to take care of their physical, mental, spiritual, social, and economic needs.
The research began weeks ago, acquiring information through interviews and focus group discussions. The consultation was held to present and discuss the findings of the research. Consultant is Dr. Wendy Crawford Daniel.
It's really a work in progress. So this consultation is an extremely important aspect of what we're doing because here we are getting your input as to a number of areas which we will be discussing as we go. So the objectives of the situational analysis that we are currently undertaking, of which this consultation is a very important aspect, is to identify the challenges and gaps. The challenges and gaps in delivery of services and programs for the elderly in Grenada, and to recommend specific strategies and policy issues to address the needs of the elderly.
According to the Prominent Secretary, proactive measures are important in dealing with our aging population.
It is better to equip ourselves and future generations with the tools to combat these challenges. Let us see the years ahead as an opportunity to adjust to the changes so as to move forward and to be prepared as a nation.
Findings from the situational analysis will feed into the formulation of the aging policy and action plan, with actions intended to improve social and health outcomes. For the National Report, I'm Delroy Lozan.
Enhancing the visitor experience in Grenada. That is the focus of a 4-day workshop being hosted by the Grenada Tourism Authority and the Aquila Center for Cruise Excellence. The workshop targets tour guides to boost their skills and knowledge. More than 65 countries has benefited from certification from Canada-based company Aquila Center for Cruise Excellence, which is the official partner for Florida Cruise Caribbean Association, FCCA. Claudine Paul, representing Aquila Center, spoke on the schedule for the participants from preparation to risk management.
So we're going to go through 6 different areas, anywhere from understanding the cruise industry to understanding what it takes to be a real good tour guide, how to go above and beyond, how to find those moments to really engage with your guests and create magical moments for your guests. Also, we're going to be talking about how to prepare for the day, how to prepare so we can prevent things from happening. And then last, we're going to be talking about risk management, because that's so important. Sometimes things happen. How do we handle difficult situations? How do we respond to our guests? What do we do when we have difficult guests, right? We're going to take some time. It's going to be 4 days, 3 days of learning, 6 lessons, and then on the last day, they're going to be doing the certification, which is going to be, first part will be the exam. The exam is 80 questions, and they need a pass mark of 70%. The second part will be a video portion, because writing an exam will only tell you so much. The video will actually tell you, what kind of tour guide is this, right? Is this a good tour guide? We're going to evaluate that.
Nikoyan Roberts, nautical manager of GTA, who spoke on behalf of the Minister for Tourism and Civil Aviation, Honorable Clarice Modest-Corbin, says this is a stepping stone for the tourism industry in Grenada.
This training, provided by the Grenada Tourism Authority and Aquila, could not come at a better time. Following historic growth in 2018, the destination's cruise arrival figures for the first half of 2019 are 1.33% ahead of last year. Indeed, we are grateful for this continued growth, and we all have our role to play in ensuring it continues. How can you play a role in making this happen? In this room, we are all ambassadors for this country. Therefore, we must provide a level of service that goes way beyond what is expected.
CEO of the Grenada Tourism Authority, Patricia Ma, says the certification endorsed by the Florida Cruise Caribbean Association is important for tour guides in Grenada. 50% of the training fees are covered by the GTA.
The Aquila Tour Guide Excellence Program, which you are now privy to, and the fortunate ones to be a part of this experience, because that is endorsed by the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association. The FCCA represent 19 cruise brands globally. So when you go out there as Mr. or Miss Tour Guide with your international certification, it will be well respected.
And that story just brought to an end the national report for Monday, September 9th, 2019. Recapping the top story, ECCB official says contribution of CBI to construction cannot be left out from GDP data. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Sharian Noel, thanking you for viewing.
Thank you very much, Sharian Noel, and let us quickly take a look at the weather. And of course, we got our information from the Met Office. Winds are just about east-northeasterly to east-southeasterly at 8 to 18 miles per hour. Seas slight to moderate, waves up to 5 feet in open waters. We're expecting the minimum temperature for tonight to be just around 25 degrees Celsius. And for tomorrow, weather is expected to be mostly fair with a low chance of a few brief nighttime showers. And the maximum temperature 32 degrees Celsius, minimum 26 degrees Celsius, winds easterly to southeasterly at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Seas slight to moderate, waves up to 5 feet in open water. And that's the weather report for tonight and tomorrow. We are running out of time. We want to say thank you to everyone who were a part of the program. Everybody, again, no names calling, just say thank you to you for your love, your loyalty, your patience, and your understanding. Of course, it's good to be back with you after a few days of being off, you know, and we are ready to go full volt. All right, guys. So thanks again, and we are going to touch base tomorrow. We have run out of time, so I just want to say hello to everyone in a special way on the program tonight, and we have to start saluting my mom whenever she comes onto the program. All right, yes. So all you, everybody, thank you for watching. Those of you on WPG10, thank you for watching as well. And this has been another Mikey Live production.